It backed onto a hedge of white-flowered hawthorn, through which brambles and ivy twined. Out of the wind's rough caress, the temperature rose. Standing just inside the doorway, Ford loosened his tie. The CSIs had erected the tent over a hole that opened out at the foot of the hedge. It was enormous, easily big enough for a man to fall into. Around the edge, earth had been piled up. He looked closer. Sitting atop the soil, he saw a few fragments of eggshell and a tiny white bone.
"It's a badger sett, sir,"
a male CSI said.
"The lady who found the hand said her dog pulled it out of here."
Ford left the tent and went over to a couple of uniforms standing with a woman in late middle age, holding a scruffy little terrier on a lead. They'd managed to procure a cup of coffee for her, which she drank in small sips, her eyes darting every which way from over its rim. He introduced himself, then said, "I understand you found the hand."
"Murphy did, really," she said. "We were down at the stream back there. Suddenly Murphy zoomed across the stream and ran off to the hedge there."
She pointed at the tent.
"He was tugging at something. Then he just pulled and it came out and it was—"
She shuddered.
"A hand. Well, most of one anyway."
"And when you were walking Murphy, did you see anyone else?" She sipped the coffee, then shook her head.
"No, not a soul. Sometimes I do. This route is popular with dog walkers. I mean, the countryside's so beautiful, isn't it? But no, not today."
Her tone suggested she wasn't avoiding responsibility or trying to please. She knew what she'd seen and what she hadn't, and was unafraid to state it plainly. "I'd like you to make a formal statement. One of these officers can take it from you," he said. "We could do it here, or at home if that would be more comfortable for you." Polly opted to do it at home. Leaving her with a uniform, Ford walked towards the knot of CSIs. He saw a familiar face, or its top half, above a surgical mask. China blue eyes met his own. Dr. Hannah Fellows, the Deputy Chief Forensics Officer. Hannah would take him to view the body part, confronting him once more with the physical reality of violent death. And it would start, the whole unpleasantly satisfying process of entering the mind of a murderer and feeling that sense of connection that existed between all who'd taken another life. In her first week at Bourne Hill Station, Hannah had pushed him on why he hadn't moved past Lou's death. He'd avoided giving a straight answer, but sometimes he caught her looking at him, head cocked to one side, as if studying for clues. He hated that feeling of scrutiny, even though he respected her as a colleague and enjoyed their blossoming friendship. He joined her and said, "Morning, Hannah."
"Good morning, Henry. Guess what?"
"What?" She pulled her mask down and smiled, curving two dimples into her cheeks.
"I have a nickname."
"Really? Congratulations. Am I permitted to know what it is?" She frowned.
"Of course. Otherwise you wouldn't be able to use it. It's Wix, which is short for Wikipedia, because I know a lot about a great many subjects," she added.
Ford smiled. Among the quirks that had spurred his affection was Hannah's fascination with nicknames. When still new at Bourne Hill, she'd learned that his, Henry, came from the founder of the car company. In response, she'd researched an array of facts, from sales of the Ford Mondeo to the date the company had been founded. He'd thought her Asperger's might make her shy or standoffish, but Hannah was the opposite. She was good company, no filter company, but good nonetheless. "What have we got?"
"Come with me and I'll show you,"
she said, resettling her mask. He followed her, breathing deeply, aware of all that was to come. Chapter 3. Ruth Long didn't consider herself an anxious woman. In general, she was content to let life unfold at its own pace. Plenty of time to react to the present, without worrying over a future that might never happen. But when her husband, Owen, hadn't returned from his planned 2-day trip after 3 days, which turned into 5 once she checked her diary, she felt the flutterings in her belly that used to accompany her performances with the Royal Ballet. She put on some shoes and left the house, not bothering to double-lock the door